Hi students, let us go for a topic today which is an important one in understanding the reducing and oxidizing capacity of an element. You have learnt in the first year that lithium is a strong reducing agent, and you have learnt fluorine to be a strong oxidizing agent. Sir, what is a reducing agent? That which causes reduction. What is an oxidizing agent? That which causes oxidation, by itself undergoing reduction. A reducing agent is that which undergoes oxidation. Sir, how do we say that lithium is a strong reducing agent? And how do you say that fluorine is a strong oxidizing agent? Is there any parameter for it? Yes. The parameter is on the basis of their reduction potential values, RP. RP means reduction potential values. Sir, what are these reduction potential values? These are the values which help us to understand the ability of a species to either undergo oxidation or to undergo reduction. Sir, how do we know the reduction potential values? Is there any common name for this reduction potential or oxidation potential values? The common name that we go for is electrode potential. The common name for this is electrode potential. Sir, what is electrode potential, sir? Electrode potential is a measure of the ability of a species to either undergo oxidation or reduction, expressed in terms of either reduction potential or oxidation potential. Sir, how do we go for these values, sir? To go for these values, what we do is we try to understand an experiment or a setup which will help us to know about the ability of a species to either undergo oxidation or reduction. Let us consider a cell in which we consider an electrolyte and dip a metal in it. Sir, what metal has to be dipped? You can dip any metal, but make sure that the electrolyte has an ion which is common to the metal which is dipped. That implies you are going for a setup where the metal is dipped in a solution containing its own metal ion in the form of an electrolytic solution. So, it can be zinc in Zn2 plus, it can be copper in copper 2 plus, it can be silver in silver plus. So, the metal and its own electrolyte should be present. So, for our convenience, what I do is I consider this Zn to be metal represented by M, and I consider this metal ion as Mn plus. Sir, kya hoga, sir? What will happen, sir? There are two possibilities, or there are three possibilities that arise. The metal ion which is present in the electrolyte, it starts hitting the metal because the ions in the solution are in constant movement. So, the metal ion goes towards metal, collides with this metal and says, hi, how are you? And if the metal responds to it, fine. If the metal does not respond, then there will be no change in the setup. Then what about the other two options, sir? The other two options is the metal ion might interact with metal and says, metal, I want your electrons and I want to get deposited on you. Okay, the metal accepted. Then metal M plus accepts N electrons and converts into metal. So, what is happening here? The metal ion is accepting electrons. When metal ion accepts electron, it is a process of gain of electron. When it is gaining electron, that means it is undergoing what process? It is undergoing reduction process. What is the third option, sir? Third option is the metal might say to metal ion, see, you are much better in looking than I am in the form of only M, you are more dressed up in the form of Mn plus, I want to convert into you. Metal says to metal ion that I want to convert into U. That means metal converts into Mn plus an electron. So what is happening here? Metal is losing electron. Loss of electron, what do we call this process as? Oxidation. What do we call this process as? Oxidation. That means there arises a scenario where the metal and metal ion do not interact with each other, they are as they are. Or the second possibility, the metal ion might get deposited on the metal by accepting electrons, the process is called reduction. Or the metal might go into this solution as metal ion by losing electron, we call it as oxidation. That means there are three possibilities of which we consider only two. One is the spontaneous tendency of metal to convert into metal ion called as oxidation, or the second process, the spontaneous tendency of metal ion to convert into metal, which is called reduction. And this will help us to understand what is called as electrode potential.